Now live from the Cake Studios, this is Cake News on your side.
Good morning. It's 8:56. Frank will have your forecast, but here's a look at some local headlines, including an update to breaking news we've been tracking this morning. We are now learning that a man has died after this single vehicle crash in southeast Wichita. The accident took place at 31st and Webb around 6:30 this morning. First responders tried to save that man at the scene, but he ended up passing away. Crews are working to determine what led up to this incident. Drivers will want to avoid this area throughout the morning. Law enforcement arresting 2 people in connection with the death of a southeast Kansas man that we featured on Missing in Kansas. 32-year-old Clint Nyberger and 47-year-old Kimberly Thomas are accused of first-degree murder and conspiracy. This is in connection to the shooting death of Dakota Patton. The 23-year-old's body was found yesterday morning in a field near Parsons, about 20 miles northeast from where his vehicle was abandoned a couple weeks ago. A motive for his death has not been released, but we, of course, will be tracking that story and we'll share the very latest over at cake.com. Now, Frank has a look at our forecast.
And it's been a busy morning so far here on Cake First Alert Doppler HD. Still tracking some shower and thunderstorm activity that is severe here in northwest and kind of north central Kansas. Oberlin getting some of the heavy rain, potentially some hail in there as well. Headed towards North Cater and Clayton, Dresden in line for this. We've got a whole host of warnings here. They're kind of overlapping in spots, but these warnings this morning for that potential for some large hailstones, possibly over an inch, inch and 3/4. That one goes until 9 a.m. So that's going to be expiring soon. We're going to talk more about the storms for later take.
Now live from the Cake Studios, this is Good Morning Cakeland.
Today on Good Morning Cakeland, honoring our teachers and the impact they make. We chat live with the president of the National Education Association.
How great is that? Plus, if you're looking for that perfect salad for summer, you know what? We have a recipe that you'll love from our local food blogger, Paige Alexander. She's always keeping us in line, getting us healthy for summer. So
absolutely. It can't just be smoked ribs and brisket the whole summer, you know,
oh,
for
come
me?
on.
What?
No.
We got to get some salads in there.
Yeah, I know.
Yes.
Potato salad.
Yeah.
I'm feeling good about that, yeah. Unfortunately, it's not like much of a grilling atmosphere right now.
No, shoot.
Yeah.
I mean, you just heard another warning or something going on in the background.
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm cooked. I'm done.
I know.
Yeah, the only thing grilled is Frank, exactly.
Turn off the grill. We're done here.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at this. We got another warning there at the bottom of your screen. It's a patchwork of warnings in north central Kansas.
Okay.
Here's the deal right now, Cakeland. If you're watching and you got a thunderstorm going on, it could be severe. Large hail. We've had reports of inch and a half. I mean, we're talking golf ball or bigger hailstones already this morning. And this is like the appetizer course, since we're talking about food, more storms possible today. This was a photo that was taken near Atwood this morning. Sarah Hatfield sent this one in. I tell you what, you want to see it in its full glory, go check it out on my Facebook page, because it's one of those photos you have to like scroll over it to see all of it. That was out around Atwood. Now, they are tame now in Atwood, but we've still got storms up here. Oberlin getting some of this, where you see the bright color. So kind of between Dresden and Clayton, you could see some hail there along US 80, kind of, what is that, K383 maybe, that goes there between Dresden and Clayton. There it is. So again, watch out for some hail there. All of these storms may eventually kind of turn to the south and east eventually. Let me kind of show it to you here real quick, the satellite and radar picture. So they're kind of moving up into Nebraska right now. And what we may eventually see is kind of a southeasterly track with this. That's why we got meteorologist Cameron Venable. He is on the road. He's headed to Salina. So wave to him on the way if you see him. And then eventually those storms kind of come into north central and maybe south central. So we're going to break all that down. We'll talk more about it coming up. But again, no today. Storms could be severe, and they're ongoing as we speak.
Yeah. So what do you think for Wichita? You think we get rained on?
You know, I think there is a pretty good chance we get something. There is still a distinct possibility. We talked about it this morning. This stuff could kind of go to our north and east, just like a close flyby. But for us, we're probably not talking till, you know, it's so tough to tell on the timing of this, but 6 to 8 p.m. or later. So we got a while.
Okay.
We'll have a better idea as we get into kind of the midday hours in north central Kansas as to whether or not these are going to kind of dive south and if we're going to be impacted by them.
Okay.
Okay. Well, in addition to the photo that you shared, of course, I was just checking out your Facebook. I mean, you have some other pictures to take a look at. So if people want to go and see stuff, they can go and look at it on social. So
Yeah, including some of those hailstones. If you get pictures, send them my way. I know some of you have been sending them my way. I've been trying to.
it's busy. You've had a
do it
busy
all
morning.
right now, so yeah, we'll post them as we can.
All right. Well, I would have looked at them, but I haven't pressed like on your page yet. So
Yeah, I know you're holding out.
just kidding.
Late adopter.
Right. No, there's a lot going on.
All right. Well, in the meantime, the Wichita Police Department, you know what? They're making friends here. They hit the like button for this one. So the department posting these pictures just yesterday on social media. Check it out. So someone dropped off this, what do you call it? A gooseling?
A gosling.
Gosling, thank you. Sorry. At Patrol South, and quickly it became attached to that sergeant out there. The department says that the two listened to the Bad Boys theme song, you know, what you gonna do, and then ate some donuts, of course. That gosling, by the way, was eventually set free, though, and released back to his family.
There you go. So he'll be at a neighborhood pond near you shortly.
We did hear that they named him Ryan.
Yeah, of course.
But
Oh, man.
So cute, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were just at
So leaves little
Tanganyika.
stuff behind.
We were at Tanganyika on Saturday, and there's just families of geese and goslings and everything. I mean, it must be like mating season or
well, it was.
baby boom.
Yeah.
Yeah, baby boom time.
I
That's
guess so.
springtime in nature.
Yeah, they're all over the place.
Yeah.
We're here to educate. I love it.
Well, let's get to a misunderstanding here between a baker and her client led to a happy accident, if you will. So in March, Brianna Romero says that she had a rush order for a cake and misread the instructions. She soon realized her mistake, that she had misread Elmo for emo, and Romero called the move her worst nightmare. She rushed to the store to have them put on an Elmo topper, but yeah, that looks like pretty emo without Elmo on there.
Yeah. Oh, my.
Since then, Romero's recreated the cake showing an emo-looking Elmo with viewer requests of Elmo with side bangs and.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, there he is. The TikTok video of it has over 2 million views. Since then, she's received many emo-themed cake requests as
Tickle
well.
me emo.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
You remember when that was a thing? Like, that was like the, I don't know, the Cabbage Patch of its day or
Oh, yeah.
whatever. Like, people, Elmo
Oh, yeah, people
dolls,
are fighting in
get one of
Walmart for those
yeah.
things.
Now you're fighting for that cake. I bet it's delicious. So.
It looks delicious.
Oh, my goodness. A slice
I love
into
our
that.
cake mix-ups. That last one was that square cake?
Yeah.
It had the little rectangle
It's
on
a
it.
tough business to stay accurate in, huh?
Pass.
Right.
I'll put an order in, though. That's great. What is on order for all of us? I mean, okay, so we're tracking stuff right now, tracking stuff for later. You're just running all over the place. So
All over the place. Yeah, I'm back here talking about weather. Let's go ahead and show you Cake First Alert Doppler HD. So we're dry in Wichita, but let's take you into north central Kansas. That's where we find these warnings that we have. And this is a big old warning now. They just kind of replaced some of them there. That one for 1 3/4 inch hail with this storm as it kind of pushes to the south and east. So let's see if we can reposition the map here just a little bit. It's going to be kind of crossing K383 here before long. These bright spots, that kind of bright pink color, that's where you're likely going to have those bigger hailstones. And we've had reports of 1 1.5 inches already. That can do some serious damage. So be aware of that as this kind of moves to the east. So again, Oberlin, Decatur County, we're now into Norton County. And we're going to watch it as it moves to the east. Down around Lenora, not looking too threatening, but again, we'll continue to monitor that. Some of the most robust portion of this storm up there in Nebraska. Now, the thinking is eventually that may kind of dive to the south and east. You can kind of almost see that southeasterly track with this. That'll eventually take it into north central Kansas. For that reason, We've got meteorologist Cameron Venable on the road already. He's heading into North Central. He'll have updates for us as we get into Cake News at 11. Now, we got a severe thunderstorm watch. This thing goes until noon, outlined there in blue. And then this is kind of the zone we're watching for severe weather today. Now, I think the most likely region is kind of north central where those storms are now, and then diving to the south and east. So within that yellow zone, that's where I think the most likely region for severe weather is. Wichita, we're kind of on the edge of this. It could go to the north and east of us, or it may move right through the metro. Outside of this, we're going to call it the maybe zone. It's a possibility. Now, anybody experienced storms today, large hail and high wind a possibility. It's not a guarantee. It is possible. Flooding threat, for the most part, relatively low once these things start moving. Slow movers, though, dropping significant rain, some brief flash flooding, at least a possibility. Tornado threat possible, but again, as this thing kind of merges into a line, we're talking a lot more about wind and hail threat. Now, one of our high-resolution weather models, I think this is brand new data. I mean, this thing just came in within the last 10 minutes or so. Here we are at 10 a.m. Watch what happens. It starts pushing into north central Kansas. I think that this is close to being right. It might still be a little bit slow, but moving into north central, and then it pushes to the south and east into north central, kind of Salina over toward Chapman, Abilene, and then pushes to the south and east. This is what I'm talking about. It could kind of clip Wichita, or it may come right through. We will see, and it may be a little more robust than what it's showing here. So a wait and watch scenario as we get into the afternoon. One way you can stay on top of it through the day, Cake First Alert weather app. App Store, Google Play Store, get it, have it on your phone. I know you got a bunch of other apps on there. Just make sure you get that one. It's free. In Hutchinson right now, it's 71 degrees. We're going to use our camera in Salina quite a bit today. We're looking back to the east right now. We had rain showers out across Dickinson County and severe thunderstorms there for a while. Those have dissipated. It's 73. From downtown Wichita, it's 71. East wind at about 14. Temperature of 71 in Rice County, Lyons, 70 in Dodge City, low 60s, Goodland and Colby. Here's your forecast for today. High temperatures, generally speaking, in the 80s and 90s. Now, if you're getting a thunderstorm this morning, that's going to dramatically influence your day and may end up being a little cooler as a result. Going for 86 in Wichita, 89 in Dodge City, low 50s to mid 60s by early tomorrow morning. There's that chance for showers and thunderstorms. We're not done with this stuff yet. Tomorrow, chance for storms, though. Yes, maybe strong to severe. We're going to highlight it in yellow, but right now the chances of getting something looking pretty small in and around Wichita. Thursday, a little better bet for some active weather, and then maybe a little more garden variety Friday through Monday. Temperatures in the 70s and 80s this weekend. 74 on Sunday. That is Mother's Day. Salina, Hayes, Great Bend, Russell, 86 tomorrow, 80 on Thursday, low to mid-80s Friday, Saturday, at the mid-70s Sunday and Monday. Garden City, Dodge City, Liberal, 86 tomorrow, 80 on Thursday, back in the mid-70s Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Colby, Goodland, Norton, Hill City, 84 tomorrow, low 70s Thursday, Friday. We're in the 60s and 70s Sunday into Monday of next week. So stay weather aware. Sky starts changing. Get the Cake First Alert weather app out. Look at that interactive radar. You can get watches, warnings delivered, all to it. Very handy. If you'd like to learn more about this severe weather setup, I got details for you at cake.com.
Yeah, it's all coming just as you basically called for it here, but holding out hope for Mother's Day. You know, hopefully we can get out and do something. We got a big day ahead of us. What were you going to do? You tell me your plans. I'll see if I can make it happen.
Well,
Frank, you and I both have teacher wives, so not only is it Mother's Day, but it's also National Teacher Appreciation Week as well. So that's like double incentive to get things right for us.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a hard task.
I'm not sure if I can get the weather right for it yet, but
no?
I don't think it's going to be a washout on Sunday.
Okay.
Yeah.
But, dude, moms, they just want a massage. They don't want to go do anything else. They just want a massage. That's all they want, and some peace and quiet and a nap.
Yes.
So if it's raining, enjoy
You said
your
it, man. Nap. Check. That sounds good.
Massage from a stranger, to be exact. not us. I'll be like, hey, come on, I got two hands. Like, no, you don't know what you're doing.
No, that don't count.
Oh, my goodness. Well, we appreciate all the teachers out there in Cakeland. I know Nurses Appreciation Week on deck, too, so a lot of love going on in Cakeland. After the break, I will tell you, we're going to be speaking about Teacher Appreciation Week and ways that we can recognize those educators in our community. Our hearts go out to you all. We'll be right back.
a New Jersey resident is assessing the damage after what's believed to be a meteorite crashed through the roof on Monday. It happened in Hopewell Township. The object measures approximately 4 by 6 inches and appears to be metallic. In these aerials, you can see where that roof was patched up, but several agencies have been contacted now in hopes of confirming whether or not the object is truly out of this world. Stargazers believe this would be related to a current meteor shower called the Eta Aquarids, but who really cares? It's just a space rock that flew in from the atmosphere. That's crazy.
Yeah, that is wild. I wonder how it sounded when it landed in the home and everything.
Yeah.
Just damaged the floor a tiny bit.
I mean, initially you're like, dang, kids threw a brick through my window or something. And it's like, wait, no, it's not it.
Oh my goodness. All right. Interesting stuff there if you haven't seen it online. Again, we have more here on deck here on Good Morning Cakeland, so keep it here. We're talking about the end of the school year, and as it approaches, it is time to recognize those educators out there. They're working hard, they are dedicated, and they are caring for our children.
Yeah, let's get back to Becky Pringle now. We have established our connection, and we're happy to have you. The National Education Association here, and I mean, we're so thrilled to have you on National Teacher Appreciation Week. Becky, thanks so much.
Oh, it's good to be with you, Shane and Annette. Thank you for having me on.
This is especially great for me because my wife is teaching right now, molding minds and doing the best that she can, and so many others, of course. So on National Teacher Appreciation Week, where is your mind at right now?
Well, let me begin by thanking your wife and all of the teachers across America. Happy Teacher Appreciation Week. We're focused this year on more than just appreciation. We have to be taking action for our teachers more than one day or 1 week. We have to be showing our appreciation, lifting up our teachers, honoring and respecting them every day of every week, all throughout the year. Why? Because you know that our teachers are doing so much more now for our students than they ever have before. And we need to show them that we see them, and we're going to do everything we can to help them do the jobs they love.
Do you have any recommendations for parents and of children, young and old, of ways that we can show that appreciation? For example, I mean, sometimes I send a little note to our teacher of our first grade student, or maybe I'll send some extra snacks for the classroom. Are these things or other things that you think would be really the bright spot for those educators in their day?
Well, let me thank you, Annette. I taught science for over 30 years. I love those little gifts and the notes and the hugs. The kids just were so excited to show their appreciation. I don't know if you two watch my favorite show, Abbott Elementary. I love that show. Probably because it's set in Philly, which is where I'm from, but I love that show. And they did an episode on Teacher Appreciation Week. And they said just exactly what I said, that they love that, but they hadn't had a raise in 15 years. And so they were lifting their voices saying, we need more than the appreciation. We love that, but we need our communities, our legislators, our voters taking action so that we can actually invest in our public schools in a way that we can provide our students with the resources and supports they need. We can raise those teachers' salaries so we attract them into the profession and they stay in the profession. And what our teachers all over this country are saying to me is, Becky, and we need respect as the professionals we are to make teaching and learning decisions for our students. That's what they're asking for this Teacher Appreciation Week.
And that's so well said there. And when you think about too the fact that Mother's Day is coming up the end of the week here too, so many of these teachers are moms as well. And at the end of a long day, it can be hard for a lot of the teacher moms to even have enough left in the tank for their own babies and things of that nature too. So anybody who can also think about that, maybe it increases the appreciation. Just throwing that out there as well. But in terms of moving forward here, what's the outlook of education in the future? I know a lot of teachers don't really know exactly.
And you know what, Shane, you're living that yourself in your own home. You know that. And so we need in this country to understand that teachers who for their entire lives have been standing in the gaps for our students, but so much more is required of them now, from addressing issues about literally keeping our students safe from assault rifles to making sure that we're meeting the growing mental health issues that our students are facing in this country. So when we talk to our teachers, you know, they do talk about raising their teacher salaries, but they talk about two other things. They talk about the fact that they need more mental health professionals in their schools and their communities, and they talk about they need more of them. That is the only way they're going to be able to meet the individual needs of our students, the one-on-one attention they need if they have more teachers and counselors and nurses and bus drivers, all of the caring, qualified, certified adults, so that our students have what they need to live into their brilliance.
Very well said. Absolutely. And just because I see it over your shoulder there, the sign that says "We love public schools," as tough of a job as it can be for a teacher, I know my wife and so many others would never dream about taking their kids out of the public school system. They believe in what's happening. And Becky, thanks so much in many ways for you and all of the folks who work with you for making that belief there and present through all the kind of the struggles of many of the educational aspects.
Thank you for lifting that up. You know, 90% of our parents in this country send their students to public schools, and we have to lift up our public schools. We have to invest in them. We know they are the foundation of our democracy. They are a common good that we have to support and strengthen and make sure that every single student has what they need and what they deserve. That's what we're trying to do every single day. And we thank you for what you're doing to ensure that their stories are heard and they are seen, our teachers are respected, our students are supported.
Love it. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Becky, so much for your time today. Of course, here at Cake, we're showing our gratitude all week long on Cake News at 4 by giving out the Golden Apple Awards to a teacher every day this week. It's a part of our National Teacher Appreciation Week, so be sure to tune in this week at 4 o'clock. We'll be right back. Welcome back at 9:30 right now. We are now learning a man has died after a single vehicle crash that took place over in southeast Wichita.
The accident took place at 31st and Webb around 6:30 this morning. First responders tried to save the man at the scene, but he ended up passing away. Crews are working to determine what led up to the incident. Drivers will want to avoid that area this morning.
Law enforcement arresting 2 people in connection with the death of a southeast Kansas man that we have featured on Missing in Kansas. 32-year-old Clint Nyberger and 47-year-old Kimberly Thomas are accused of first-degree murder and conspiracy. This is all in connection to the shooting death of Dakota Patton. The 23-year-old's body was found just yesterday morning in a field near Parsons. It was found about 20 miles northeast of where his vehicle was abandoned a couple weeks ago. A motive for his death has not been released.
Some Wichitans are not happy about a proposed idea to add a Love's gas station at I-135 and 21st. They say that the area infrastructure wouldn't keep up with the expected volume of semi-trucks that would stop there. Some board members on the advisory board in the area worry that the stop will also bring extra noise and increase crime.
It's sure to bring more prostitution, more drugs, just an environment that we are trying to get rid of, not add to.
The board president believes there are other more convenient places on the outskirts of town for that stop. The city council votes 1 week from today on whether or not the stop should be built.
The nation is coming together today to recognize the dangers of what some say is a critical problem across the country. Today is National Fentanyl Awareness Day. Local law enforcement telling us that fentanyl is involved in more American youth deaths than heroin, meth, cocaine, and prescription drugs combined. Fake pills are the main reason the fentanyl-involved deaths are fastest growing among youths. A flag ceremony and news conference will take place at 11:30 this morning at the old courthouse here in Wichita, and that's to raise awareness about fentanyl. And then El Dorado is also hosting a town hall about fentanyl tonight at 6:30, and that will be at the Civic Center.
Well, it is the busiest time of year for military recruiters, with high schoolers nearing graduation.
But one Wichita recruit, now airman, made it just in the nick of time months before aging out. Cake's Maeve Ashbrook has the story new this morning.
This is one of the last times Cornelius Porter will leave this Air Force recruiting center in East Wichita.
I'm ecstatic.
He just joined the Air Force.
Everybody got a calling. I mean, I ain't saying it's my calling, but it's just something I thought I'd be good at.
A job he's wanted since he was a teenager.
And when they finally decided to give me a waiver, I got into a motorcycle wreck.
So he's spent the last 20 years working in Wichita as a mechanic and builder. That's until last year, after telling his kids about this long-lost dream.
And my oldest son actually did the research, and it was like, oh, Dad, you're 39. You cut off at 39. So, and I always tell them to never give up. So when he told me that, I was like, well, I guess I'll give it one more shot.
His recruiter, Michelle Williams, says Porter's application came with one big question.
When does he turn 40?
Porter left for basic training in Texas 1 month before that birthday.
He's my oldest applicant. I just really wanted to find out what his why was. And then when he told me the story about his son and looking up the age, I'm like, yes, I have to put him in the Air Force.
He says the experience so far hasn't been too bad, but a struggle for some of those younger recruits.
They asked me for advice. You know, it's just about life stuff. You know, what do you do if you break up with your girlfriend? There were some 30-year-olds and stuff in there, so I wasn't the oldest by far, but I was the oldest. So.
With his first duty station on the horizon, Porter says he has no regrets.
I believe in everything happens the way it's supposed to happen. So this is just my time.
Now, Porter is set to head to Davis-Monthan Air Force Base in Tucson, Arizona later this week. If you're interested in joining the Air Force, you can go ahead to cake.com. We do have a link with information. Kind of interesting here. Just made that cutoff.
Yeah.
I think we all still got a little time in us.
I got about a year until I can jump in there.
Well, yeah, until
39
you
is this year
can't
for
jump in.
me.
You could go. I'm going to give your name to a recruiter.
Oh boy, here we go.
All right.
Knocking on your door.
Yes. Maybe, I don't know. If I'm doing a career change, I'm becoming a weatherman so I can compete
You don't
with you.
want this, man.
You need all the help you can get today. Come on.
Well, you keep hearing the doo-doo-doo-doo
Yeah.
going off over here.
Yeah, there's storm systems, all sorts of stuff going on.
Yeah,
Oh, boy.
yeah, ongoing north central Kansas. Let's go ahead and show you what is happening here. Northwest, north central Kansas is kind of the zone we're watching. They've gone ahead and issued kind of a larger warning out ahead of this, may get some wind gusts out of it, and we will see if it does much across Sheridan and Graham County as it kind of pushes to the south and east. So they issued a fairly large warning in advance of that. Large hail is the greatest concern with this. Sure, you could have some wind gusts to about 60 miles per hour. And kind of the thinking is in the short term, these storms may start to intensify a little bit here as they kind of move into north central Kansas. So we are going to be monitoring that kind of eastward progression of what we are expecting. There's the satellite and radar picture showing you those showers and storms kind of pushing now a little bit more east, and then eventually that may kind of dive south and east across the state. Current watch situation, we have a severe thunderstorm watch that goes until noon. That's in the northwest corner of this severe threat zone. Now, within this zone, I think this is the most likely region to experience severe storms, probably high wind gusts and large hailstones. Outside of that, we're going to call it the maybe zone. Yes, there's a chance, though your probabilities are a little bit lower. Hailstones, high wind, those are going to be the primary threats. Tornado threat, yeah, it's possible, but once this thing kind of goes into a line like we're thinking here, probably going to be more of a wind threat followed by large hailstones. So here we are, 10 a.m., some of this new weather model data coming in. Here we are at 1 o'clock. Tell you what, I think it's going to be a little further along than that, and that's kind of based on the trends we're seeing so far. In fact, by 1 o'clock, it may be in north central Kansas. So know that the timing with this is still fluid, and then it's going to be pushing to the south and east. It might make it into Wichita. It may go to the northeast of us. We said that this morning, and we're going to continue to say that right now as a distinct possibility with these showers and thunderstorms. Stay on top of it today with the Cake First Alert Weather app, App Store, Google Play Store. Use that interactive radar. Get those alerts and warnings should they be necessary. You don't have the app, you say? Well, here's how you do it. Open up your phone. I know it's sitting right there. You pull it up. I'll give you a second. Hit the camera button and then just kind of hover over that QR code. Hit the little bubble on the screen. It's going to take you to the site where you can download it for your device. In Hutchinson, right now, cloudy sky, 72 degrees, south wind at 8. Let's go to Salina. We're looking to the east. It's 74. We'll turn that camera back around to the west and northwest, see if we can get a glimpse on some of those clouds rolling in. In Wichita, it's 71 right now, east wind at 14. It's 75 El Dorado, 69 Russell, 70 Dodge City, 50s, 60s, and 70s in northwest Kansas. Here's your forecast for today. Highs, low 80s to low 90s, mid 80s Wichita and Salina. These are going to be rain and thunderstorm dependent. You get a good soaker this morning, you're probably not going to make it that warm. 50s and 60s by early tomorrow morning. Here's a look here, 7-8. Chance of a shower or storm tomorrow, maybe strong to severe, maybe. Better rain chance on Thursday, and those could also be on the rowdy side. Rain chances Friday through Monday, not overly impressive, but we will watch them. It's not going to be a total washout. Mid-70s Sunday, Monday. Let's go to Salina, Hayes, Great Bend, and Russell. 86 tomorrow, low to mid-80s Thursday, Friday, middle 70s Sunday, Monday. We go to Garden City, Dodge City, Liberal, Elkhart, low to mid-80s right on through Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, middle 70s Saturday, Sunday. We'll be in the mid-70s on Monday next week. Colby, Goodland, Norton, Hill City, that possibility. Some more strong and severe storms Wednesday and Thursday. Low 70s Friday, Saturday, upper 60s for your highs on Sunday. So a lot of active weather. Stay weather aware, especially if you have outdoor activities. Plan to have a way of receiving those alerts and warnings. You want to see some of those hailstone photos? You can find them on my Facebook page. I have a feeling there's going to be some folks calling their insurance agent today because more than enough to dimple up your car.
Yeah. It's been relatively calm in that department so far this storm season. So
yeah,
we made it this far.
We made it this far, and we'll see what the rest of the day holds.
Yeah.
Okay, not exactly the greatest thing, but hey, we're going to have some fun playing some games with y'all here in Cakeland after this break.
All right.
Yeah. All right, welcome back, everybody.
What are we doing here? You know, guys, 6 Jeopardy legends are going head-to-head this week for the bragging rights of Jeopardy Master.
Okay. And so we, of course, love to play along. Cake style, of course, cake pyramid style. So producer Jen, she's giving us 6 different things, 6 of them, that are game show related.
Yes. And
we haven't taken a peek at this.
This is all in advance of the premiere of the Game Show, which will be here on Cake as well. So the pyramid is one of our favorites.
Yes.
Right? So we're gonna work together. Mind meld time.
Okay.
All right.
So I have the clues, right? I do the clue, and then I'm
Yes.
trying to get you to guess the word.
That's right. And we only have a short amount of time to do this.
Okay, we're gonna do this. Okay, let's go. Oh no, there's a clock and everything. Okay. Oh my gosh. I don't know what's Producer Jen, can you guide me? I don't know if there's. Okay, you're gonna pop it up here. Okay. See, I truly did not look at this, but I didn't want to know. I didn't want to know.
Okay. I'm unplugging here, so I can't hear anything in the booth.
Okay. Okay.
That's how it usually starts.
Oh, come on down.
Oh, Price is Right?
No. You know.
Come on down. Like, you can pass. You can pass.
Okay, pass. Sorry, I'm terrible at this. It's horrible. Let's play Bamboozle. That's all I can think of. Okay, 200, 400, 600, 800, 1,000.
Categories?
Double.
Categories, Jeopardy categories?
Yeah. Woo!
All
Okay,
right.
next. Okay. I watch this all the time. Okay, they spin the wheel. Oh crap!
Wheel
I
of
just
Fortune?
said it. Dang it!
Wheel of Fortune.
That wasn't quite it, but that's okay. Sorry, Patsy Jack.
This is hard.
Okay.
This is hardcore right now.
This is really hardcore. Oh, I love this show too. Oh, it stars that one guy. And, this is horrible.
It stars that one guy.
Did we get one? That was excellent.
Did we get one? All right.
Really good. I'm so sorry.
Annette, that was fantastic just watching you. Like, that was amazing.
The fact that I didn't say any bad words is pretty amazing. So, yeah, what a gift.
All right, we got a redemption try.
Okay.
All right. We're going to go to break. We're going to compose ourselves.
Ooh.
And we'll be right back here. We'll switch the roles, and I know that you're going to nail this, okay?
Okay, yeah.
All right, stay with us here for more Cake Pyramid. All right, welcome back to Cake Pyramid. We're going to flip-flop this and see how we do.
Okay, good luck, right?
You ready,
okay.
Annette?
I'm
Tap
so
in.
ready.
Tap in.
Channeling it right here.
All right, I'm giving the clues. We've got 6 different things, so it's an average of 10 seconds per. If it's not happening in 10 seconds, I'm passing.
Not happen. Okay.
All right. Producer Jen, hit the clock and let's go. All right. Hey, everybody. It's your boy. You got a mustache. Yes.
Yes. All right. Awesome.
All right. Let's see. Oh, I don't know this guy. I know he's like the first on Family Feud way back in the day.
Gosh.
No one's going to know
Okay.
that. Pass.
Yeah, pass.
Okay, she hosts the new Whammy show. She's an actress. She just
she's
directed
on the Hunger
Cocaine
Games.
Bear.
What's her name?
We have. Okay.
Okay. Oh gosh, it's gonna drive me nuts.
Pass.
Okay. Shoot.
Let's see if we can get to the next one. He was the legendary Jeopardy host.
Oh, Alex Trebek.
There we go. We got that. Okay. We're moving on to Clear Eyes. Bueller. Bueller.
What is his name? I'm gonna die here.
Pass. She got Ben. Ben Stein, I heard her say it, yes.
Yeah.
And then Pat Sajak is our last one. Okay, but we're out of time.
Oh, man.
All right, hey, those were some good names.
More. Woo.
I think we got it. 3 wins right there. Not quite $25,000, $100,000.
Like $5.
But we're winners in our own mind. Thanks so much for playing Cake Pyramid with us. We're going to be back after the break.
I'll have some fun. We're going to talk about a recipe that you all will love.
Good job, Annette.
Yeah.
Got that. All right. All that pyramiding made us hungry.
Yes.
Summer is almost here. That means we're changing the menu.
Absolutely. So Kansas food blogger Paige Alexander shows us a fresh recipe that's perfect for the warm days ahead.
Hi guys, I cannot wait to tell you about my new recipe that I created, my Italian Brussels salad. I have a few tips and tricks that are going to make it so fun you will not be able to get to the kitchen fast enough. So let me tell you what I do. I start out with 1.5 pounds of raw Brussels sprouts and 1/2 pound of baby carrots. That's about a cup's worth. Add it to my food processor and I put them all in there at the same time, so it only is one time through to process it all and it's ready to go and it's very finely ground. I love it. And so my second tip is you can buy the Brussels sprouts in the produce section that are already washed and clean. So all I did was quarter them before I added to the food processor, and I didn't do anything with the baby carrots, just added them in. Now you can do this by hand. It would not be fun, but it is possible if you want to chop or grate them. So that's my base, just raw Brussels sprouts. I love them. Next, I do 1.5 pounds of chicken breast. Here's my other tip. You can ask the butcher if they will dice up the chicken breast for you when you buy it. And that just saves a little bit of time in the kitchen. I add about 1 tablespoon or 2 of this 7-herb Italian balsamic from California balsamic. It's salt, oil, sugar-free, to a skillet with the raw chicken breast and cook it up, and it goes right in there. On top of that, I do a can of chickpeas, and I do 1/2 bell pepper, and 1/2 cup of shaved Parmesan, and 1/4 cup of diced Kalamata olives. So here's another tip. For my fats, the cheese and the olives, I chop them into the smallest portion possible. Why? Because fat has 9 calories per gram. Carbohydrates and protein only have 4 calories per gram. So with the smaller portions, it can spread further in the recipe, and maybe you get a bite of that flavor in every single bite that you take. To that, I add 1/2 cup of diced tomatoes and 1/4 cup of diced purple onion. Now, I will tell you, these are just my portions. This is one of those where you create your own Picasso, add whatever you want in whatever amount you want. If you want to add something or take something away, do that, make it your own. And I finish off with the same dressing, and I do 1/2 cup of that. This makes 14 cups of salad once you mix it all together. Every 2 cups is like 319 calories. You've got like 25 grams of net carbs and 31 grams of protein. That is a fantastic punch of protein for a lunch or a dinner. I even had this for breakfast one day because I had so much of it, but I love it. This is what the end product looks like. It's beautiful. You've got many flavors in there. You've got the salty from the olives and the sweet from the dressing, so it's a perfect, beautiful combination. I think you're gonna like it. If you give it a try, let me know. I would love to hear what you think. But most of all, have a good day. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.
All right, you can see the recipe and so many ideas from Paige by heading over to cake.com/guess. We'll be right back.
Good morning, Cakeland. Meteorologist Frank Waugh here with you in the Cake First Alert Weather Center. It's right there this was going to happen, but on this leading edge of storms here, this is going to be just south of Lenora. We do have a severe thunderstorm that has kind of gone into quick tornado mode on the leading edge of this. Let's see if we can go ahead and take this here for you full screen on Cake First Alert Doppler HD. So we do have a tornado warning now. That tornado warning is going to go until 10:30. What I can tell you about this tornado that's probably south of Lenora, this is going to be very brief, and it's also going to likely be rain wrapped. If you are in or around the town or the old town of Smithfield, if you live in the vicinity of 283, so we're talking about 283 here in the vicinity of Norton and Graham County, kind of right on the line. Probably more so on the Graham County side here. We do want you to be taking those tornado precautions. Now, I can tell you this, the signature here, when we kind of switch it over to the wind mode. So what we're looking here, wind direction here and speed, not overly strong, but a brief tornado out of this definitely will be possible. Let's go ahead and pause the radar for you here, and we're going to zoom things out just a little bit. So again, this storm is tracking to the east and going to be crossing 283 here before long in the vicinity of Smithfield. And this storm is moving to the east at about 30 miles per hour. So let's go ahead and put a track on this, kind of give you a zone here where we're kind of looking. We're moving to the east about 30 miles per hour. And if there is something good about this, this is some fairly rural territory that we are working with right now. So again, this is northern Graham County in the vicinity of 283. A brief rain-wrapped tornado is possible. That warning goes for about 30 minutes. And what is probably going to happen is, as we get a couple more scans in here on the radar, if this continues to weaken, we may see it lifted a little bit. Let's go ahead and put it back on the rain mode here and put it into motion for you. I'm going to tell you just about any location along this leading edge here, kind of highlighting it for you right now. As this kind of moves to the east, say at about 30 miles per hour, a very brief spin up will be possible. So we're talking about Logan in the path of this. Again, Smithfield, you're kind of right in that zone. And the really tough thing with storms like this is going to be the fact that these things are going to be incredibly tough to spot. So they're going to likely be wrapped up in rainfall. We're kind of seeing this little notch here. And again, that is south and east of Lenora. So that is 283. So here is Hill City. Hill City, you are just south of that tornado polygon. You are, though, in that severe thunderstorm warning, so some gusty winds with this. We go back to the west. Let me switch this back over to the wind mode here and see if we can spot another location here. Back to the west, we may see another spot trying to form as well. Maybe just back kind of towards the county line there. Though on the rain mode, it kind of picks it up, and on this one, it doesn't quite so well. Let me flip-flop between radars here and see if we can see anything different. Again, not a great selection there either. Let's go back over to the Goodland radar. All right, so that zone we were watching, and you can still see the very bright colors here, so likely indicative of some high wind gusts. Even if there is not a tornado in there, you could still have some high wind gusts with this, possibly in excess of 70 miles per hour, as that is going to be crossing 283. Let's see if we can get here real quick spot on this. Again, that's that warning. That tornado warning goes until 10:30 a.m. Graham and Norton County, in addition to the tornado warning, which is radar indicated at this point. This is not confirmed by any spotters on the ground, but you could also get some large hail with this, possibly some wind-driven hail as well. All right, we are going to continue to monitor this situation here in the Cake First Alert Weather Center as this storm moves off to the east. We're going to be watching for these quick spin-up tornadoes. We are going to get you back over to the view, and I'll be back on here with another radar update for you and severe weather update shortly.
This is a tornado warning from Cake First Alert.
Good morning, Cakeland. Unfortunately, we're still tracking severe weather here in north central Kansas. New tornado warning coming out. I can tell you right now, kind of based on the environment, right now the situation is these are likely brief rain-wrapped tornadoes. But essentially, if you have an ongoing thunderstorm in your vicinity in Cakeland, you need to be aware that these are possible. Let's kind of take you in a little bit closer here, zoom you in on Cake First Alert Doppler HD and show you what is going on. We're going to stop the radar. Got two different tornado warnings. Now, this is the oldest one so far. Now, this is kind of in the vicinity of Smithfield. Now, I don't believe anybody, or if there is anybody living in Smithfield anymore, it's one or two homes. This is not much of a community anymore. And western Kansas is just dotted with communities like this. So again, this is going to be in northern Graham County. And we've had indications that we may have another possibly quick spin-up tornado up around Desmore as well. So a new tornado warning issued there. That one also going until about 10:30. So both of these going for about 20 more minutes. Now I can tell you, I just don't think you're going to spot these if you are out trying to. So not a great idea to do so. Let's zoom in on this area here around Smithfield. That's the zone we are watching at this point for some rotation. At times it is shown some, at others it's very, very brief and kind of broad. But around 283 there, northern Graham County. This storm not moving super, super quick. And let's go kind of back up into Norton County. Move the radar here a little bit as we get up around Densmore. This is going to be up just kind of in the vicinity of K9 in eastern Norton County. That's going to be east of Esmond, west of Logan. Logan not included in this at this point, but that's kind of the zone we are watching. These storms also capable of producing large hail in excess of inch and a quarter, inch and a half. We've had numerous hail reports to that size so far. Let's put it into motion for you here, give you an idea of kind of the motion of these. You're also going to be getting some tremendous rain, a place that hasn't had a lot of rain recently. This is going to be a real help to the area when it comes to rainfall, but also at the rate that this is coming down and kind of at the speed and the way these are kind of training over the same area here, you may also be experiencing some flash flooding. So really my recommendation, if you are in Phillips County, back into Norton County, if you are here in Graham County or even northwestern Rooks County, you need to be aware that a brief spin-up tornado kind of on this leading edge. We call these the technical term QLCS tornadoes, but what you need to know is generally they're quite brief. These are not long-lived, very visible tornadoes, but they can still really pack a punch. You could see wind gusts with these things severe enough to do some considerable damage. So again, in the vicinity of 283, if that sounds familiar to you there in northeastern Graham County, I want you to be taking your tornado precautions. Then also in extreme southeast Norton County, and you know what? Even back into far western Phillips County, if you're around Logan, if you live anywhere kind of between Edmond and Logan, you also need to be preparing for that possibility. Back to the west, back west of Lenora right now, looks like that's kind of losing a lot of its punch, so not a great concern. But that cell there north and west of what is used to be Smithfield anyway, may be causing you some problems. We get a lot of these old kind of train stops here. So between Hill City and Edmond, if you are in that area or if you're driving or going to be driving soon, you want to avoid that area. So again, we're kind of switching back and forth here, just getting word from the National Weather Service. They're going to keep that tornado warning going for Norton County as it, again, still that possibility of a brief storm. I think the strongest portion of that still is kind of in the vicinity of Smithfield. So again, if you live in that zone, you do need to be taking those tornado precautions. We're going to continue to monitor these storms here throughout the morning hours. Right now, the thinking is these storms are probably eventually going to track to the south and east, giving us a high wind and large hail threat as we get into the midday hours, and then as those push further to the south and east, maybe eventually impacting south central Kansas and here in Wichita. There's a satellite and radar picture over the past 6 hours. We've got more information for you on this severe weather threat. You can get more of that at cake.com. We've got meteorologist Cameron Venable. He's heading into north central Kansas. We'll have updates from him starting during Cake News at 11. We'll be here on Cake with updates as necessary throughout the morning.
This is a tornado warning from Cake First Alert.
Good morning, Cakeland. Meteorologist Frank Waugh here with you in the Cake First Alert Weather Center. We're tracking a line of showers and thunderstorms, kind of starting off western Kansas, moving into north central Kansas. These storms are severe, and in fact, we do have a tornado warning for you. Let's go ahead and take you full screen here, and I'm going to zoom in. So far, these tornado warnings, we got 2 of them. Southeastern Norton County. I know it's kind of tough to see with these red boxes here on top of the radar, but that is the tornado warning. So we got one in southeastern Norton County. That's kind of moving into Logan County, and then we've got another one in northern Graham County, right along kind of 281. We're going to kind of toggle back and forth here on the radar. First, we're going to pause it and see if we can kind of highlight a couple of areas for you here. So right now we're kind of got the radar in rain mode, and so we're looking at areas of rainfall coming down, and now we're going to switch it over to wind mode. So we're trying to look into the storm to see what direction the wind speeds are blowing those raindrops around, and what we're doing is we're looking for areas of rotation when we do this. And right now, in and around Smithfield, we've been talking about this area, maybe still some areas there of concern, but it's not looking nearly as concerning as it once was, as it was kind of moving into Smithfield. So that is some good news. Let's kind of switch it back and forth here. So as that was moving towards Smithfield, or the old town of Smithfield, for a time looking like there could be a brief spin-up tornado in that, but right now, not looking quite as strong as it once was. And same as you get up here, it was just east of Densmore, west of Logan, that threat kind of getting some muddled data in there, so not looking incredible at this point. Now, these storms could still produce some big-time hailstones, and we do have that severe thunderstorm warning now, a new one up there for Phillips, Smith, and Jewell County. That one is going to go until 11 a.m. So that's this one up here. So Phillips County into Smith and also Jewell County out ahead of this here, seeing that potential for wind gusts with this. Also, some large hail in and around Phillipsburg. You've already had a thunderstorm or two roll through town this morning. This one here also bringing that potential for some large hailstones. We've seen hailstones this morning in excess of 1.5 inches, more than enough to do some serious damage to you, not something you want to be caught outside in. So we got all kinds of warnings here crisscrossing. The yellow polygon boxes, those are severe thunderstorm warnings. So our main threats, large hail and high wind. And then kind of along this leading edge here, that potential for a very brief quick spin-up tornado. These tornadoes are not going to look like your typical tornadoes where you can see them coming. These are going to be rain-wrapped. They're going to be on the leading edge of this line of storms, and while they are often brief, they can still do considerable damage. So around 283, and if you're kind of living, let's say, north of 24 in northeastern Graham County and east of 283, so let's make a box right there. If you're living in that zone, you need to be aware that you could be impacted by a very brief spin-up tornado. As long as that storm is moving through, that could happen. So go ahead and take your tornado precautions. basement, underground, your best bet, interior room if that is not an option. We've got a severe thunderstorm watch. We've likely got more watches in our future today as these storms move into north central Kansas and then may eventually dive to the south and east. I've got more information for you on this severe weather threat at cake.com, and I'll have updates throughout Good Morning Kansas, or Cake News at 11, I should say. We'll have coverage through the afternoon as well. Keep it right here on Cake.
This is a tornado warning from Cake First Alert.
Good morning, Cakeland. Meteorologist Frank Y here, providing another update on this storm system moving into north central Kansas. It's turned into a very, very active morning, to say the least here. Let's take you in with Cake First Alert Doppler HD. And I'm going to take this thing full screen for you so we can zoom in and give you a good look. We do still have a tornado warning. That is for eastern Graham County. Now that runs only for about 5 more minutes, but it is in the vicinity. It's been in the vicinity of Nicodemus, in the Bogue area, now kind of moving into western Rooks County. Let's take a little closer look at this. We're going to swap between modes here. Right now we're kind of in the precipitation mode where we are looking at the rainfall and the hail in this, and now we're switching over to this green and red mode, and this is kind of the wind mode. We're looking for areas of rotation. Now, the rotation in this, not quite as strong as it once was, but here's the deal. With this storm system, the chances of seeing a tornado out ahead of it, very, very slim. This tornado is likely going to be rain wrapped in here. There is still some rotation, especially aloft with this. Now, whether or not that is transmitting kind of down to the ground, that is yet to be known. So if you live near Bogue or Nicodemus, if you can give us any ground truth or reports, that would be greatly appreciated. This is moving to the east. Right about here is Webster. That is Webster Lake. That is west of Stockton on 24. This is not a storm that you want to be out in a tent or a camper. If you're out there fishing or something, not a situation you want to be in. So if you have friends or family out there, give them a heads up, because I mean, this thing is, it's essentially there at this point. It's moving into Stockton as well. Let's kind of work our way up the line. So tornado warning still going on. Wow, just got a report out of Jewell County. Let's kind of go up to the north and east. Out around Mankato, 2.5-inch sized hail. That is tennis ball sized hail with this. This storm system so far this morning has been a prolific hail maker. Smith Center, Smith County. If you are in central Smith County, you need to also be on the lookout for hailstones with this, especially north and west of Smith Center. But we can kind of put this into motion for you. You can see that there's a distinct possibility you are going to end up with some large hail in Smith Center. These storms have had a history of that. And let's go to Jewell County. This storm up here around Mankato, moving through, again, that report coming out of Jewell County, tennis ball sized hail. That is 2.5-inch hailstones falling in Mankato. Another report, quarter to $half sized hail. That was just west of Mankato. So these storms have a history of producing very large hailstones, and again, possibly along this leading edge, a brief tornado. Let's go ahead and kind of pause the radar. We got about this leading edge right here. I'm going to highlight this for you. And if you live just anywhere along this leading edge of storms, you need to be aware that there is that possibility of a brief spin-up tornado. Technically, we call these QLCS tornadoes, but leading edge tornadoes like this are not your typical long-lived, picturesque tornadoes. These things sneak up on you because you see the line of storms coming, then all of a sudden these things may only last a minute or two before they dissipate and fall apart, but you can still get tremendous wind gusts out of these things. So again, you do need to be aware of that situation. Going to continue to monitor this as it moves into western Rooks County. This is in Rooks County, just north of Stockton. We've been watching that line of storms. That's the KDOT camera. We've extended that watch from northwest Kansas into south central Kansas. Severe thunderstorm watch until 6 p.m. More updates for you coming up on Cake News at 11.
Now live from the Cake Studios, this is Cake News on your side at 11.
Well, today is Cake First Alert Severe Weather Alert Day across Cakeland. Thank you very much for joining us for Cake News at 11. I'm Shane Ewing. Those storms move across north central Kansas at this hour, and they are capable of producing tornadoes, as you've no doubt seen from Frank's coverage here. We go back to meteorologist Frank Waugh here, tracking some of these storms that seem to be intensifying in some areas, Frank.
That's right. These are intensifying in other areas, and then in some places you're essentially done with it. Here's a satellite and radar picture over the past 6 hours, kind of set the stage for you. Notice where Wichita is. Notice where the storms are. We've been doing coverage for these in north central Kansas, and let's take you in on this. New severe thunderstorm warnings coming in as we speak, and a brand new tornado warning as well. That tornado warning for southern Rooks County. Let's take you right into Rooks County. So here's Stockton. This is 183. Out here is Webster, and this storm moving kind of over Webster as we speak. If you are in Plainville, if you are kind of anywhere between Palco and Plainville, you need to be taking your tornado precautions. This leading edge right here showing indications. I mean, this is right at 258 and right at K18, kind of where this comes through, and actually 281 here, actually 281's here. So again, kind of K18, south of 183 there, Plainville area. Just west of Plainville. If you are in that zone, you need to be taking your tornado precautions. A reminder for you, obviously the best place, and chances are you've heard this since you were little, the best place to be is underground. But if you do not have an underground shelter, think about it this way. You want to put as many walls between you and that storm as possible. So get to an interior room, away from windows. Again, try to cover yourself, protect yourself. This storm system has had this history of producing what we think are probably very brief spin-up tornadoes. We have not had any confirmation so far of actual tornadoes on the ground with this. But this signature right here, one of the better signatures that we've seen so far when it comes to wind speed and direction here of a possible tornado. So again, southwest of Stockton, that is moving in the vicinity of Plainville, and again, right around Zurich as well. So K18, 258, where it all comes together there, and then again, as it tracks toward Plainville, you need to be taking those tornado precautions at this time. So again, we're going to continue to monitor that. We've also got the potential here for some big-time hail, and really, if you live anywhere along this leading edge, you need to know that a brief spin-up tornado will be possible. This storm up around Mankato has a history of producing tennis ball-sized hail. That is moving to the north and east, going to be crossing K14 here before long. So again, very, very large hail with these storms. We are going to continue to watch this here. This is 183. This is just north of Stockton. We are looking back to the northwest as those storms approach. We're not done with this, Cakeland. It could be a long day. This is a severe thunderstorm watch that's been put into effect. It does include the city of Wichita. What we think is going to play out is those storms may eventually dive to the south and east. As that happens, high wind gusts are going to become a very big concern with this. So again, this is your chance to kind of prepare for that as it pushes to the south and east this afternoon. We're going to have more updates on that Rooks County storm and more updates on how today could play out. That's coming up.
All right, thank you, Frank. And we do have some storm photos for you as well. This one is a few miles southeast of Abilene. You can see the thick, heavy blue clouds hovering closer to the ground there as the rain appears to be pouring down. And these are storm clouds north of Atwood. This is from earlier this morning, what appears to be a funnel type cloud as well. Again, no confirmed tornadoes. As this coverage continues, we will keep you updated throughout the hour here on Cake News. You can keep tabs on the weather, of course, no matter where you are by downloading the Cake First Alert weather app. It has interactive radar, video updates, and push alerts to keep you and your family safe. Well, the long-awaited meeting between President Biden and congressional leaders over raising the nation's debt ceiling. The president holding the first round of talks on the matter with the top bipartisan leaders in the House and Senate at the White House today. Justin Finch begins our coverage here this morning.
All eyes on the White House, where President Biden is hosting an Oval Office conference with the top 4 Senate and House leaders focused on raising the debt ceiling.
That shows that the president wants to bring them together to have this conversation. The president has been very clear. This is Congress' constitutional duty to take action, to not default.
The White House refusing to call today's meeting a negotiation and still insisting Congress raise the debt ceiling without any preconditions. But House Republicans are insisting there will be no deal without spending cuts, already passing a bill calling for nearly $5 trillion in cuts. And yesterday, 43 Republican senators signed a letter saying they would block any bill allowing a clean debt hike.
Republicans are very united at this point to say we should look at debt and deficit and to say, what are we going to do to slow down our spending?
Raising the debt limit covers spending the U.S. has already racked up, not future spending. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen cautioning Congress that the country could enter default in just a few weeks.
All I want to say is that it's Congress's job to do this. If they fail to do it, we will have an economic and financial catastrophe that will be of our own making.
A U.S. default could have wide-reaching impact, from collapsing the stock market to the loss of 8 million jobs, no Social Security checks for nearly 50 million seniors, and unpaid troops. Today's meeting is a step forward, but no major breakthroughs are expected, adding more pressure on the White House and Congress to strike a deal before that June 1st deadline. Justin Finch, ABC News at the White House.
As we move on, a man is dead after a single vehicle crash in southeast Wichita. That accident took place at 31st and Webb around 6:30 this morning. First responders tried to save the man at the scene, but he ended up passing away. Crews are working now to determine what led up to the incident. Drivers will want to avoid that area this morning. Law enforcement arrests 2 people in connection with the death of a southeast Kansas man we featured on Missing in Kansas. 32-year-old Clint Nybarger and 47-year-old Kimberly Thomas are accused of first-degree murder and conspiracy. This is in connection to the shooting death of Dakota Patton. The 23-year-old's body was found yesterday morning in a field near Parsons, about 20 miles northeast of where his vehicle was abandoned. A motive for his death has not been released. Well, coming up, we'll take a look at the latest on the deadly Texas mall shooting as new details emerge. And later, a look at the movie Book Club, the next chapter. That's set to be released this month.
And a tornado warning continues for southern Rooks County in the vicinity of Plainville. If you're in Plainville, go ahead and take those tornado precautions as this storm approaches. We're going to talk more about this and track it for you coming up.
Your Cake First Alert Forecast with meteorologist Frank Waugh.
The time now 10 after 11. Here's Cake First Alert Doppler HD. This is the line of storms that essentially all morning long has been producing some degree of severe weather, whether it's been large hailstones. Now we're starting to get some high wind gusts with this and the potential for a tornado. Let's take you into that tornado warning. We got a tornado warning here, southern Rooks County. This thing goes until 11:30 this morning, and we will see if they continue it on out from there. Stockton, you're not in this tornado warning. You are likely getting some heavy rainfall with this. Further to the south, though, this is the concern area right around Plainville. We've been talking about this as it was crossing 258, kind of headed towards Plainville. We've said get in your tornado shelters, and if you are in Plainville, you do need to be there. If you're not getting a tornado with this, you're likely getting some high wind gusts, maybe also getting some hailstones or some wind-driven hail. So I do expect as this moves through Plainville that we are going to get some confirmation of what is going on wind-wise. So far this morning, all of these tornadoes have been radar-indicated tornadoes. So radar looking at areas along this leading edge for these what we would call just very brief spin-up tornadoes, but they can still do tremendous damage. Don't let that name deceive you. But again, that thing is in Plainville at this time already, moving to the south and east at about 30 miles per hour. We are going to continue to check in on that storm throughout this newscast. We've also got other storms producing damaging hail. Reports out of Mankato of tennis ball-sized hail this morning. That is now tracking to the north and east, right up K14. Let's take you in a little bit closer there. Let me zoom in for you. Let's go north of Mankato. So again, it's crossing K14, kind of moving out over across some fairly rural territory there in Jewell County. Along this leading edge here, let's go ahead and stop the radar for you. Along this leading edge, I mean, if you're in Portis, if you're in Alton, if you're in Mount Ayr, if you live in Osborne, as this storm system tracks to the east, along that leading edge, these brief spin-up tornadoes like we are potentially seeing down in the vicinity of Plainville, you need to be aware of that. We've got meteorologist Cameron Venable. He is en route. He is actually on, what are you on? You're on K18 there, headed west. Cameron, tell me where you're at, what you're seeing, and where you're kind of targeting at this point.
Yeah, Frank, I'm on K18 going west, and as you guys can see, we can kind of see the top of the storms. We're getting mamadas indicating this complex of storms is very powerful. A little lower towards the ground, we can see the actual leading edge, the shelf cloud. I'm going to continue driving west towards that tornado warning, but like Frank's been saying, a lot of these tornadoes are spin-up tornadoes, and they may be rain-wrapped. Very short-lived, but still have the potential to be destructive. It's very hard to detect on radar, and even once I get there, it'll probably be hard to see in person. But I'll be out there right on the front lines to give you guys an update if these storms are indeed producing tornadoes. Frank?
All right, thanks, Cameron. Drive safe there. Again, that leading edge, I mean, that wind indication there kind of moving to the north and east. Let me see if we can get the banner back up there real quick, the toolbar, so we can pan down back to the south and west. Another area down there maybe of concern back to the south and west of Zurich as well. Notice those bright colors. So we are going to continue to monitor that storm in southern Rooks County, again, as it slides east, but anywhere along that leading edge, you do have the potential to get one of those brief tornadoes spinning up. Here is a look at the satellite and radar picture, kind of giving you a depiction of the way we think this may play out as we go through time. Let me kick ahead here for you and show you where we're at here. Satellite and radar picture giving you indication of those storms sliding to the east. Again, very, very robust thunderstorms. Severe thunderstorm watch in blue here. This goes until 6 p.m. Very, very large area here. And this is kind of that severe threat zone we've been talking about all morning long. Been saying all morning long, this is kind of that most likely corridor where we could see severe weather. Thinking high wind and large hail will be the most likely threats. Outside of that, it's kind of a maybe. We will see high wind, large hail. We've actually kind of kicked those wind gusts up, possibly in excess of 70, once that line starts to move to the south and east. Now, KateCast, one of our weather models, I think it's doing an okay job with most things except for the timing, and also kind of showing how robust this storm system is. It is slow with the timing by a couple of hours, but I don't want you to pay attention to timing. I want you to pay attention here to the general trend, and that is sliding to the south and east. In that vicinity where I showed you that most likely zone, that's where I think we could see those high wind gusts, potentially some very large hailstones with this as well, and that may eventually impact Wichita. That's why we've been included in that severe thunderstorm watch. It goes until 6 p.m. One way you can stay on top of this is with the Cake First Alert weather app. Get it at the App Store or Google Play Store. I'll give you a half second here. If you got your phone handy, I know you do, pull up that camera. If you don't have the app, scan that QR code, click on that little bubble. So you open your camera, click on it. That'll take you to a site where you can download it. You can watch that live streaming coverage right there on your phone. So should your power go out, you can also get those warnings. You can use that interactive radar. I've got the camera in Hutchinson kind of turned to the north as we're going to be watching these storms. That's kind of the direction that they will approach. It's 76 in Hutchinson. This is the view in Salina, kind of looking back to the west. It's 81 in Salina. In Wichita, it's 78 degrees, south wind gusting to 22, 81 Salina, 82 El Dorado, 82 in Pratt, cooler to the north and west. Generally speaking, today we're looking at highs in the 80s and 90s. But if you've been worked over by a thunderstorm this morning, you're going to struggle a little bit to make it back into the 80s. So locations dealing with rainfall, your temperatures will be a little bit cooler. 50s and 60s by early tomorrow morning. Here's a look at your 7-day forecast. High today in Wichita, 86. We'll do 84 tomorrow, 80 on Thursday. Low to mid 80s Friday, Saturday, with the middle 70s Sunday and Monday. That chance for showers and storms Friday through Monday, tapering off a little bit, but more severe weather possibility this week. Salina, Hayes, Great Bend, and Russell, 86 Wednesday, low 80s Thursday, low to mid 80s Friday, Saturday, at the mid 70s as we cruise into Sunday and Monday. We go to southwest Kansas, similar setup for you. And again, northwest Kansas, similar situation there where we are dealing with that potential for more severe weather Wednesday, possibly into Thursday, and then a little more garden variety thunderstorm activity Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Temperatures on Sunday, that's Mother's Day, back in the upper 60s. Stay with us through the day today, and also cake.com. You can learn more about this. Again, Cake First Alert Weather App, great tool to have in times of severe weather like this.
All right, thank you, Frank. Well, an enforcement operation in El Paso that targets migrants begins today. Coming up, a look at what it entails. And we welcome you back in. Customs and Border Patrol agents have started a targeted enforcement operation in El Paso, Texas. That move comes as authorities are expecting to grapple with thousands of migrants converging on El Paso ahead of Thursday's deadline of Title 42. That will expire, which in the Title 42 returned many migrants to Mexico. Customs will be reducing processing lanes and passenger operations at the El Paso Del Norte point of entry. The operation will also focus on sections of El Paso where migrants have been congregating, like Sacred Heart Church. City officials estimate that about 1,800 migrants on the streets outside of the church are looking to become U.S. citizens. The jury is set to begin deliberating Tuesday in E. Jean Carroll's civil battery and defamation trial against former President Donald Trump. The panel is considering Carroll's allegations that Trump raped her in a New York department store dressing room in 1996, then defamed her when he denied the allegations. Trump does not face the possibility of prison time. Instead, if the jury believes Carroll's account, they could award her monetary damages. Well, don't forget, Cake News is on Facebook. You can follow our page for the latest breaking news and updates. We have much more after this break. Welcome back. The prices of online goods are dropping. New data from Adobe Analytics found prices for e-commerce fell nearly 2% in April compared to last year. April also marked the 8th straight month of decreasing prices. According to Adobe, the biggest drop was in the appliance category. Computers, electronics, sporting goods, toys, and home and garden supplies also experienced significant deflation. This is a positive development for consumers who have been grappling with high costs thanks to 2 years of inflation. Amazon may be offering to pay you to pick up your own purchases. The company has been sending emails to some Prime customers offering $10 to pick up orders of $25 or more at locations like Kohl's or Whole Foods. Coming up, look at how prevalent measles is and how to best prevent you from catching it. Welcome back. A new study shows how mental health and physical health may be linked. Researchers in South Korea found people dealing with mental health problems in their 20s or 30s were at a higher risk of suffering a heart attack or stroke later in life. The scientists studied the health of 6.5 million people living in South Korea and monitored them for nearly a decade. They found people with mental health disorders were 58% more likely to suffer a heart attack and 42% more likely to have a stroke compared with people with no mental disorders. Large crowds are often a site of celebration, like concerts, parades, festivals, but they also increase the risk of spreading illness. Sherry Preston has more.
Recently, the CDC issued an advisory that a person with measles attended a large gathering of more than 20,000 people. There have been multiple measles outbreaks around the globe, and U.S. officials are stressing the importance of early recognition and vaccination. Measles is a very contagious virus that can be quite serious, especially in children younger than the age of 5. About 1 in 5 people in the U.S. who get measles end up in the hospital, with 1 to 3 in every 1,000 people dying, even with the best care. Symptoms can include high fever, even more than 104 degrees Fahrenheit, cough, runny nose, red, watery eyes, and a rash that usually develops 3 to 5 days after symptoms begin. The virus spreads through the air by coughs or sneezes. One person can infect up to 9 out of 10 people around them, even if they're unaware they have the disease. That's why officials are urging children and adults to be vaccinated. Talk to your healthcare provider and be sure to mention if you plan to travel abroad, as the vaccine regimen may be different. With this Medical Minute, I'm Sherry Preston, ABC News.
Coming up, why gas and livestock auctions are important in the Steckline Ag Report. Welcome back here. It is now 11:30 and meteorologist Frank Waugh continues to track some of those storms out there. Frank, what are you seeing now?
Yeah, we are still tracking this very potent line of storms. Some good news to report, some bad news to report. The good news is the signs of rotation really kind of weakening there in southern Rooks County. Let's take you in a little closer. The concern area was around Plainville there. You could still see some gusty winds, but the rotational signatures not nearly as strong. We've got meteorologist Cameron Venable. He is on the road. I think he's just making his way into Rooks County. He's right kind of on the Rooks County line. Let's go to meteorologist Cameron Venable. Cameron, what are you seeing so far?
Yeah, Frank, finally on the line of the storms. I pulled over for you guys to see. So that's the leading edge of this line of storms. I'm on Highway 18, just pulled off the road a little bit. And I just noticed there was a report of an 81 mile per hour, a new severe thunderstorm warning just came out. Looks like a report of an 81 mile per hour wind gust. So that's what we're looking at right there is the leading edge of storms. It's not uncommon. Ooh, look at the wind being sucked in, or the dust being sucked into the storm right there, crossing the highway. So yeah, honestly, we could have leading edge tornadoes, but also a very large wall of wind approaching me as we speak. So I am right, ooh, beautiful CG. I'm right in front of this line of storms. So definitely take precautions because 80-mile-an-hour winds can do significant damage. Frank?
All right, thanks, Cameron. Good catch right there. So there is Cameron. He is looking west towards that storm. And if you don't know the weather lingo, CG, that is cloud to ground, that lightning strike that he just saw there. So Cameron is in line for that. Cameron, and I think he is probably still listening to me. Obviously, he is aware. There's the potential in that for some large hail as well. Let's head further up the line. The storm, as it moved through Mankato, it produced tennis ball-sized hail. And this right now, this is kind of headed towards kind of the Dispatch or the old town of Dispatch, crossing K-181 there. That is going to be in south, to the north and east of Portis, north of Downs, northwest of Cocker City. I think we could be talking about some hailstones possibly larger than baseballs out of some of these cells. So be aware of that, especially with high wind gusts. This is not something you want to be messing around with. Here's the past 6 hours, showers and storms kind of tracking to the east. Current watch situation, we have a severe thunderstorm watch that goes until 6 p.m. today. That does include Metro Wichita. I'm going to show you Kate Cast, weather model, and kind of talk about how the rest of today could play out. That's coming up, Shane.
All right, thank you, Frank. Well, you can take a look at this storm picture here. This is from Navarre, Kansas, near Abilene. You can see the thick, heavy blue clouds hovering close to the ground this morning. And this is a picture of storm clouds north of Atwood. You can look at that funnel-like cloud as well there. A lot of activity in Cakeland this morning. Our meteorologist staying on top of it this morning, but you can stay on top of it as well by downloading the Cake First Alert weather app. It does have interactive radar to track these storms in real time. Video updates, push alerts will also keep you and your family safe. Well, now to the latest in the deadly outlet mall shooting in Texas. And today we're learning more about the 8 people killed and what investigators have discovered in the gunman's past. Tim Pulliam has the latest for us.
These are the names of the 8 people gunned down in that deadly outlet mall shooting in Allen, Texas. Among the dead, 3 members of the Cho family, including a 3-year-old, elementary school-age sisters, 4th grader Daniela and 2nd grader Sophia Mendoza, described as rays of sunshine. Their mother, Ilda, in critical condition, among several still hospitalized.
We got shots fired at the young wall.
Investigators are looking closely at social media posts allegedly written by the suspect, Mauricio Garcia. They reveal the shooter, who was seen on video firing at shoppers at Allen Premium Outlet Saturday, may have been scouting the mall for at least a year. Investigators are reviewing this picture of the suspect. A profile appearing to belong to the 33-year-old, showing photos of the mall and entrances dating back to last May. Investigators say his online profile also includes racist, white supremacist posts, hatred towards women, Nazi tattoos on his body, and a fascination with mass shootings.
I see a woman running in the parking lot or trying to get to the parking lot, and she's by our window, and I see her get gunned down.
An unnamed officer on scene confronting the shooter alone and killing him. His attorney saying this: he's a brave servant with a gentle heart and embodies the best the law enforcement profession has to offer. A search warrant obtained by our ABC affiliate WFAA says the gunman's Dodge Charger was loaded with several additional firearms and ammunition, and according to authorities, similar items were at his home. The Army says the suspect, Mauricio Garcia, only served 3 months in the Army in 2008. He was removed over mental health concerns. Tim Pulliam, ABC News, Allen, Texas.
Well, closer to home here, one man is dead after a single vehicle crash in southeast Wichita. That accident took place at 31st and Webb around 6:30 this morning. First responders tried to save the man at the scene, but he ended up passing away. Crews were working to determine what led up to that incident. Drivers will want to avoid that area this morning. And we'll take a look outside. You are looking live over Wichita now, a much calmer scene than elsewhere in Cakeland. Frank tracking it all right after the break.
Your Cake First Alert Forecast with meteorologist Frank Waugh.
The time now 11:39. We're tracking severe storms north central Kansas. Lincoln and Russell County added into the severe thunderstorm warning game way out ahead of this line. That goes until 12:30, but that gives you an indication of where we think these storms are going. Let's go to the southern end of this. We've been watching this in around Plainville, kind of moving into southeastern Rooks County. The concern, the potential there for a possible tornado. We've got meteorologist Cameron Venable right here looking back towards the storm. Let's go ahead and go out to meteorologist Cameron Venable. Cam, what are you seeing there? It looks like it's getting awfully close to you.
Yeah, Frank, this thing is right on top of me. The wind's being sucked into the storm. You can see the big old shelf cloud in front of me, the green coloration indicating that bigger hail. And I was taking a photo just a second ago, and man, it's starting to throw out some nasty close cloud to ground lightning. So I am about to bail because the precipitation shield is just over there a little bit to my northwest, and this does have hail with it. So I'm going to reposition back to the east, but I am on Highway 18 right near the Rooks County line, and this thing looks nasty. 80-mile-per-hour winds. It has a history of that. Can certainly lead to significant damage, so you definitely want to get away from windows and go to the most interior part of your house. Frank?
Thanks, Cameron. Cameron brings up a good point there. Even with 80-mile-an-hour wind gusts, we may not be talking about tornadoes here, but that could still do some damage, particularly if you're dealing with high wind gusts like that and the potential for wind-driven hail. So again, this here is kind of Cameron's locator. I actually think he's a little further to the west, but he is going to start heading back east fairly quick as this line of storms move through. That wind gust measured by the Kansas Mesonet up around Osborne, I believe 81 miles per hour. There is likely some pretty good hail in this. That's going to be moving across southern Rooks County there just south of Round Mound, and then eventually going to be sliding to the east into Osborne County. Let's go up the line. Mankato, a place that experienced some tennis ball-sized hail. You're getting a little bit of a break right now, but more on the way out of this. Take you in just north of Cocker City there. So this is going to be in southwestern Jewell County. You could see, tennis ball-sized hail, maybe bigger out of this as this goes south of Iona, crossing K128. So a nasty storm system. Luckily, right now, we don't have a tornado warning, but anywhere along that leading edge, there's the possibility of a brief spin-up tornado. And you looked back towards what Cameron was looking at there. Those tornadoes are probably going to be forming back in that rain. You are never going to see it, so don't try. Just go to an interior room. And again, as that storm system moves through, you do not want to be outside. Severe thunderstorm watch, that has been issued. Now, that is until 6 p.m. That does include Metro Wichita, includes Salina. So the thinking is these storms may track to the south and east, high wind, large hail. The greatest concern with that, this is that severe zone we've been talking about this morning. I think this is the most likely zone for severe weather. Wichita, we're kind of on the edge of this. I do think there's the distinct possibility we do, but I think it's even greater as you get into that area and then you get back further to the south and west. We'll call it the maybe zone. We could be talking about wind gusts easily in excess of 70 miles per hour. We've already had that. Hailstones topping 1.5 inches. We've had that. Flooding threat, you know what, I'm kicking that up a little bit. These things are going to be prolific rainmakers as well. Tornado threat right now, think if we see them, they're going to be short and brief. Let's use CakeCast here. Now, CakeCast, I think it has the general kind of motion all right with this. The timing is not great, but again, it shows that southeasterly trajectory with those storms as we head through the afternoon. Stay on top of this through the day today with the Cake First Alert weather app. Have multiple ways of receiving alerts should they be necessary. Weather radio. Stay tuned to updates on air. Watch on your Cake First Alert weather app should your power go out. Scan this QR code. If you're watching on the DVR, pause it, go back. Scan that QR code to get the Cake First Alert weather app on your phone. We're looking to the north from our camera, Fort Hays State University. We're looking to the north, so I-70 is right up here. That's kind of that nasty storm moving just north of you. Here in Wichita, we are at 78 degrees, south wind at 14. It's 81 Salina, 83 Pratt, 60s, 50s, 60s, and 70s, back to the northwest. Here's your forecast for today. Now, locations out ahead of this, I think we're dealing 80s and 90s. If you've had a thunderstorm roll through, you're going to likely be cooler, 50s and 60s by early tomorrow morning. We're not done with the severe weather chances yet. Tomorrow, it's a pretty big maybe when it comes to severe storms, south central Kansas, but maybe a little better bet on Thursday. More shower and storm possibilities Friday, Saturday into Sunday and Monday. Middle 70s Sunday and Monday. Let's go to Salina, Hayes, Great Bend, and Russell. Low to mid 80s Wednesday, Thursday. Low to mid 80s Friday, Saturday at the middle 70s. Mother's Day into Monday of next week. Garden City, Dodge City Liberal, 86 tomorrow, 80 on Thursday. Mid 70s Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Colby, Goodland, Norton Hill City. More rowdy storms possible tomorrow and Thursday. Slight chances of rain Friday, Saturday into Sunday. We've got more of Cake News 11 coming up right after this.
Welcome, everybody, to the Cake Stick Line Report. Sure nice to have you aboard again. Hey, we've got a couple of good news items to talk about. Stand by right after this.
Goodland, Kansas, 1976 is where it all began for Hayden Outdoors Real Estate. Over 200 brokers and agents from coast to coast. We're still going strong. If you want to sell your farm, ranch, hunting property, needing a land valuation, or in the position to purchase your next property, give our team a call at 866-741-8323. That's 866-741-8323. Or visit HaydenOutdoors.com. Hayden Outdoors is the brand that sells the land.
Well, friends, the E15 is back again for the summer of 2023. Thank goodness for that. EPA on Friday of a week ago issued an emergency fuel waiver allowing E15 fuel sales in the summer of 2023. Normally, it's barred from sales in the summertime, but second year in a row, they've flipped that around and let it go. Last summer, listen to this, E15, ethanol now we're talking about, for those of you who don't know, E15, it saved drivers 16 cents per gallon on average. Now, if you took the number of gallons used last summer times 16, it'd probably scare you to death. I don't have that figure, but you can imagine. And that's just the low part. In some cases, they tell us it saved out almost $1 a gallon. It delivered those savings while reducing carbon emissions and smog-forming pollution. It's a good deal, friends, and it helped the corn market, it helped the grain market in total. Ethanol, very good for us, no doubt about that, and that's good news. Something else kind of interesting. A 2023 economic impact study, which updated a study from 2017, found that livestock auction markets continue to be so important for the growth and vitality of rural communities. The study of an average fixed facility livestock auction market revealed that the market provided approximately $2 million in total value added dollars to its rural community. The result is up from $1 million identified in 2017. So it doubled in just those few 4 or 5 years, 6 years. In any event, my hat's off to the livestock markets across the country. We would be in big trouble, not just with the local economy, but I think with the cattle market. If we had a mess that everything was going direct like the fat cattle market is, holy Toledo, you wouldn't believe what kind of a loss we in the cattle business would be sustained with. Hey, thanks for joining me here on the Stick Line Report. See you next time around.
All right, it still continues to be active here. 2 brand new tornado warnings for you in northern Russell County. And then also right up here just north of Beloit, a brand new one coming in. We've got meteorologist Cameron Venable out there. Let's go to Cam. What are you seeing and where do you think you're headed?
I'm on live TV. Yeah, Frank, I am right in front of the storm. I'm looking right towards it. I'm off 281, I believe. Let me double check. 281 south, so I'm south of the storm. The area of circulation is right where we're looking at. But as you guys can see, I mean, this is just a very large shelf cloud, kind of like what we've been talking about all morning long. Could be a spin-up tornado at the leading edge. One thing I have noticed as I'm repositioning back to the east is that there's a lot of blowing dust. There's strong winds at the leading edge. Frank?
Thanks, Cameron. There's Cameron right there. There's the leading edge and some of those higher wind gusts we're talking about. Another tornado warning just north of Beloit. Stay tuned for coverage throughout the afternoon today.
All right, thanks, Frank. And thank you so much for watching today. We'll see you again for Cake News at 4.
Stay connected with Cake Plus, Cake.com, and our social media. Cake News on your side.